Okay, today you're going to be doing a couple of power labs. So they're kind of fun, and all the instructions are here for you, and they definitely involve you being the power source. So as you know, power is work divided by time, so we're going to have you do some work and we're going to time it, and then we're going to figure out how powerful you are. So first of all, this first one, I like to move it. You have a 1 kilogram mass attached to a rope just longer than a meter, and then it's attached to a dowel rod or a piece of PVC pipe. The distance you're going to move the mass is 1 meter, so you're going to write that in here. Distance is 1 meter. And notice that there's a few different setups. So like this one is a water bottle setup, okay? This one has the masses inside the container of a kilogram. This one has the masses attached. If you have one of these S hooks, be real careful that you don't drop it on your toe. That would hurt a lot. Okay, so either way, you've got a rod, a string, and your mass. And then you're going to make sure that you're standing with the mass off the floor. You might have to stand on a chair if you're short, that's okay. But you can't start with the mass sitting on the floor. And then you need your stopwatch. And we're going to time how long it takes you to wind it up. Okay, ready, set, go. So start the stopwatch when they start winding, and they're just winding it up, winding it up, winding it up, winding it up. You got this. It's kind of like an old workout you used to do in basketball for triceps or whatever. Stop. Okay, she got to the top, so then I record my time, which was, in my case, 12.58 seconds. Whoa, that was a huge hand. And gravity, as you know, actually 12.582 on my stopwatch. Gravity is 9.8 meters per second down. So to figure out the force of weight in newtons, you're going to take the mass that you moved, multiply it by gravity. So 1 kilogram times 9.8 meters per second down. So the force you just had to use was 1 newton, 1.00 newtons. Well, to figure out your work, it's force times distance. This is really hard math here. 1.00 newtons times the distance you moved it, 1 meter. So your work is 1.00 joules. Now to get your power, this is where it's going to be different for everybody. You got to take your work. Everybody did 1 joule of work, and then you divide it by the time it took you to do it. So in this case, 12.582 seconds. And then you'll get your power in watts. And yeah, you're going to need a calculator to do this. This is 1 divided by 12.582, not 12.582 divided by 1. So obviously you're going to get a decimal there. All right, so that's your first lab. Second lab, stair climbing power. Yay, you get to climb the stairs. So for this one, you need to know your weight. You can use the handy dandy scale O Science to figure out your weight in pounds. You'll want to make sure, a lot of people don't notice, you need to zero it first. So there's a dial down here you can turn so that it starts on 0. There we go, almost. So that it starts on 0 and then stand on it. That's going to give you your weight in pounds. That's going to go right here. Let's say that you are 120 pounds. Well, to figure out your mass, we got to take that 120 and divide it by 2.2. Sorry about the rocky video. So 120 divided by 2.2, because there's 2.2 pounds per kilogram. And I get 54.55 kilograms, because that's the mass that I'll be moving. Dude, I'm not 120 pounds, I wish. The vertical distance for everyone is 4.30 meters. That's the distance from the 2nd floor up to the 3rd floor. Of course, you use a simple machine to get there, use stairs, but that's the distance, is 4.30 meters. And then you're gonna, as it says in the instructions, you're gonna time yourself walking up the stairs from the 2nd floor all the way up to the 3rd floor. That means basically you're doing 2 stair sets, because there's a stair set that gets you halfway and a stair set that gets you all the way. Gravity, of course, is 9.8 meters per second down. Ooh, already have the label there. Your force of weight, that's where you have to do force equals mass times the acceleration due to gravity again. So force is going to be however many kilograms you had, 54.55 in this example, times 9.8 meters per second down. That'll get you your force. So you're going to figure out your force in newtons, then your work in joules. As you know, work equals force times distance. So you're going to take whatever you got here for force, and you're going to take your 4.30 meters and multiply them together, and that will give you your work in joules. Then power in watts, again, is just work divided by time. So figure out how much work you did here, divide it by how many seconds it took you to do that, and you can figure out your power. And then lastly, how could you increase your power? You may have to answer like over here. All right, should be fun. Have fun. Put your stuff back when you're done with it. Don't hurt your toes. Be nice. Remind yourself the expectations of working in the hallway and in the stairwell for when you're collecting your data on the stairs. That's about that.